Redmond O'Odonoghue, welcome to Iron Island Discs.
Great to be here, Rasa. Great to be here.
And is this your first trip? Have you been before? Have you never been to the Iron Islands?
I'm afraid I've never been to the Iron Islands, but I do love the west coast of Ireland. It's a terrific part. I spent quite a bit of time there, and I was lucky enough in my career with Fáilte Ireland to be a small cog in the wheel that invented the Wild Atlantic Way.
Oh,
yeah. I was a small cog, but one of the brainstorming sessions we had when tourism had fallen off the edge of a cliff back after the crash and everything like that, and we were looking for ways to inject some meaning into Irish tourism, but also to get people to the West Coast, because research showed that about 80% of all visitors to Ireland go to Dublin at some stage, and one of our challenges was, given by government, was to get people over to the other side of the Shannon, over to the West Coast, and we were always trying to think of ways, and the Wild Atlantic Way, which turned out to be even far greater success than we thought it would be. In fact, it's one of the great brand stories of the last 20, 30, 40 years in Ireland.
No, it's gas, because I was there in May, and you go to Clare Island, and you see the signs out, and now intuitively you know what that logo means.
Exactly.
But when it started out, I was even said to myself, well, I don't know, what's this? Yeah. It's amazing.
Wild Atlantic Way. It's amazing, and of course the great thing from a business perspective is it was there for thousands of years, from Malin to Mizzen, and really all we had to do was market it, brand it, put the signage on, which was all relatively low cost. It was the creativity of two great colleagues of mine at the time, Sean Quinn and John Concannon, two great marketeers who really deserve the credit for coming up with the Wild Atlantic Way.
And where's your favourite place in Ireland? If you haven't been to the Iron Islands, where would your hideout be now?
Well, I love the West Coast, of course, but I also love West Cork and Kerry, some great things. But I go to Clifton quite often, and I stay in the wonderful Abbey-Glen Hotel on the Skye Road. And to me, the Skye Road is, in its way, as beautiful as the Ring of Kerry. There are some wonderful sites there, and I stay in the wonderful Abbey-Glen Castle Hotel with a great friend of mine from my tourism days, Brian Hughes. It's a new world. I forget everything, every worry I ever had, and I stay for 3 or 4 days, and it's wonderful.
But it's a great country when the weather is good. I mean, I've been to Ireland Islands 3 times, always a good weather.
Yeah.
And Clare Island, stunning weather in May.
Yeah.
It's a different place in the rain, but when it's stunning, it's a great country. Isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, we were, I think it was last year or the year before, in Ishboffin, and luckily it was lovely.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a walking holiday.
Yeah.
And we did a fair bit of walking, more than my legs could do, actually. But it was superb. I loved the holiday, and it's a gorgeous island.
Yeah. How did you describe yourself in the old days, in the passport, your occupation? Are you a businessman, a marketeer, a tennis player?
Not the latter. Businessman probably would be the quickest way. And then if somebody wants to drill down, I would say, a lot of time in sales and marketing. But I suppose if I had a wish on my headstone when I'm gone to the great fairways in the skies, I would prefer to see businessman encapsulating all aspects of business, though I did have a lot of time in marketing.
And how do you reflect on those years in business when you look back?
Oh, Lord above, there were
the good, the bad, the ugly.
The bad, and it was a roller coaster. There were some great times, and there were some very, very difficult times, and both are character forming, to say the least. I would have preferred the script when there were the good times, but you have to work.
But it's not like that. I mean, business isn't
life
like
is not
that.
like
It's not
that.
linear, and we learn that in hindsight. At the time, it always looks projections are bang bang.
Absolutely. Every business goes through that, and you have to be able to weather that storm and come back smiling. One of the things I love about the tourism business is they're extraordinarily resilient people. And even in my time as chair of Board of Fáilte and Fáilte Ireland, I think there were 5 existential crises, and the whole industry was nearly wiped out 5 times. But yet, every morning they'd come down to the breakfast table with a big smile on their faces and start again. And they did, and we came out of it. When I was made chair of Fáilte Ireland, it was just before the world collapsed at the downturn in 2008. And all of a sudden, we went from, I think it was 7.8 million overseas visitors to 5.8 million overnight almost. So that's an existential crisis. and we had to all rebuild the business. But, by 2012 or 13, I think it was, we were back up to 10 million. So it got done, and great tribute to all the people in the tourism industry for doing that.
And how was that business in terms, you look at, there's no heavy lifting, it's not manufacturing, there's no process. How did that compare to your previous experiences when you started out? And was it Ford? We were before Ford, Ford was your biggest kind of...
Well, I was Ford for 17 years, so that was a big
in
part.
Cork, though, you started out in Cork.
In Cork for 13 years, and then I went on the sort of multinational thing, which took me to Britain, and I was in Bristol for about 2 years, and then from there to Madrid, Spain, which should have been for 2 or 3 years, but actually I had a career change after about 18 months, and that brought me back to Ireland, and in fact back to Waterford, where I had grown up, done all my schooling. So that was...
you were born in Waterford?
I was born in Cork.
Born
in Cork, but we went to Waterford. My dad was in the bank manager. We went to Waterford when I was 4.
Okay.
So I consider myself a Waterford
man.
And a Dacia man, and they considered Brendan Boyer to be a Dacia man, even though he was 7 when he got there. So if he can be a Waterford man, I can be a Waterford man.
Is Gilbert O'Sullivan a Waterford man?
Most certainly is.
Okay,
yeah.
so
I think he's performing there sometimes.
He could be, yeah.
Yeah.
And
I met him in a restaurant in London, outside London somewhere, and everybody said, "That's Gilbert O'Sullivan." And I went over to him and I said, "I think there's a fair chance you and I are the only 2 Waterford men in this restaurant."
Yeah. He carries it with pride. You know by him, he likes going back. It's part of his DNA, really.
Oh, absolutely. Well, for the year...
That's only Dacia men can contain. This is having been there for a while, working with Waterford United.
Yeah.
Once you cross that bridge, there's a DNA about... It's incredible.
Absolutely. And to this day, the first page I open in the newspaper is to see how Waterford hurling team, our football team, did.
Yeah.
So they're still my...
But did okay at the weekend.
They did.
They stayed up,
Indeed. And who I met the other day, quite by accident, was, maybe you're too young to remember, Tommy Taylor, who was goalkeeper in the great League of Ireland team that I think won 6 out of 8 League of Ireland championships in Ireland. He was on that. I met he's a little older than I am now, but I met him the other day and we had a great old chat about the old times.
They had some great teams in the old days.
Wonderful. The Fitzgeralds,
when you see Alfie, when you meet
Alfie's written a book, has just come out. It came out last week or this week, And the Hales, the Codes, the Fitzgeralds. I was in school with some of the Fitzgeralds. Peter was a couple of classes ahead of me, and I have some wonderful memories of going to Kilcorn. I mean, the 1950s in Ireland. Yeah, Kilcorn Park. We thought it was heaven. Heaven. Greyhound track.
Yeah.
And I still have burning in my mind a match between Waterford and Shamrock Rovers, which was always the big league match. It wasn't a cup or anything, it was just a league match. And Rovers were really riding high at that time. But Waterford always gave them a great run for their money. And I think with about 25 minutes to go, Rovers were leading 4-1. And Waterford eventually won 6-5. It was Roy of the Rover stuff. Still stuck in my head.
And how did your trial go, Waterford? Did you make it?
I did play a bit when I came to UCD, and I played soccer a bit in Dublin. I got a great kick out of it, all right. But no, I didn't get a try. But a few in the class went over to Arsenal as teenagers, over to United and so on, to see if they could make it.
And what was your sport of choice then?
Sport of choice really was tennis. Tennis was always big in my family. My mother had been a very good tennis player. My late wife was a very good tennis player, and I was a journeyman tennis player, but I got great joy out of it and played an awful lot of it growing up. And I still do, even at this old age.
And you played representative, provincial level,
I played for my club, of course, which was Rushbrook. I lived in Cork at the time. Yeah. Before that, St. Anne's in Waterford. And then I played for Munster. And then, lo and behold, I played for Ireland at a senior level. I think it was over 50s or something like that. But great kick out of it.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I remember when you used to play tennis, you used to poo-poo that game with a golf stick and a round ball.
That's right.
Things change.
Yeah, they do indeed. I foolishly told a friend, if you ever see me, this is years ago, and my wife had the same feeling, if you ever see me with a golf club in my hand, you have my permission to put a pistol to my head and pull the trigger.
Funny how that changed.